Welcome to Slim Nation's One-on-One podcast with conversations featuring the host, James Slim Overton.
Well, hello everybody. This is James Slim Overton, and welcome to the Slim Nations One-on-One podcast. And I'm here this evening, and we had scheduled a guest, Latrese Carter, to come on and talk to us. And we got notice not too long before the show. She wasn't feeling well. She had been out all day and came home and felt under the weather and wanted us to reschedule. And of course, we're going to do that. We're going to reschedule her, Latrese B. Carter, who's has a Faith Walk Productions, and she does quite a bit of other things here in this area of Hampton Roads. And she's an author, actor, motivational speaker. Anything under the sun. And I had labeled our discussion here today. That she would be here and we would talk about that. But anyway, we're going to reschedule her hopefully as soon as next week because I think what she has to share is such a good message and story, about her life and what she's doing now and the influences that she had growing up as a young girl in the city of Portsmouth. But anyway, we're going to do that. But while I have you here, I want you to make sure you support this new channel we have, or I have, the Slim Nation 101 podcast. It's kind of new, but we have quite a few videos under our belt, one-on-one conversations that virtual, face-to-face conversations that we have here that we like to do here. A little different, and of course, we're associated also with Portsmouth Coffee Talk, another YouTube channel that we have, Portsmouth Coffee Talk's morning and evening edition shows, that which I do with co-host Leah Drake Stitt and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. Of course, there we also have guest hosts that come on from time to time, Dr. Ernestine Duncan and Roderick Hawthorne, and we just added John Gantz, who lives in Texas, grew up here in the city of Portsmouth, but lives in Texas now. And it's kind of good to get that perspective from someone living in such a big state and such a state where so many things are going on. But anyway, he's a part of us, and we hopefully will be adding some other guest hosts to bring on from time to time. And this is Portsmouth Coffee Talk. We are looking to bring on a conservative guest host. Most of us here are liberals, Democrats, and so we want to bring in another side, a Republican or conservative, whichever way they want to label themselves, and have him a part of some of our discussions that we have from time to time, especially when it's dealing with local and national politics and any other issues. But anyway, getting back to the Slim Nation One-on-One podcast, it's something I started, and we need your support. We need you to tune in, tell other people about it, share it, and like the videos that are already there, and subscribe. Help us by subscribing to this channel, just like you have been faithful in subscribing to the Portsmouth Coffee Talk channel that we have. But anyway, we're going to do our best to bring you some very exciting guests. We have people lined up. We'll have someone tomorrow night at 7. Now, when September starts, we're going to try to hold true to the way we started with our shows. And you see the AM on the Slim Nation here, the way our show started out with being on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. every Tuesday. And the reason for that is to make sure that the people that want to watch, they know exactly when we're coming on, and we hold true to those times. So you'll know on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 o'clock, you'll tune in to the Slim Nation 101 podcast and know it'll be a great interview or a great discussion between myself and a special guest. So we're going to keep trying to do that. We sort of going in a direction as far as scheduling people when we can to make sure we can build up the videos on our channel. So if someone says they can't do it until 7, well, we'll do it with them at 7. But in the future, in September, if we go outside of the Tuesday or Thursday mornings to accommodate the schedule of our guests, we'll just record that and play it at the 8 o'clock time slot on Tuesday or Thursday. So we can be pretty consistent when we're coming on. It's a little hard as far as scheduling, and then also trying to schedule on Portsmouth Coffee Talk as well when I'm doing interviews all over the place. So I don't mind doing them all over the place, but having them set at a time when you know it's coming on, I think it just makes sense. It just makes sense. But anyway, for those who were looking forward to seeing Miss Latrese Carter on today, she got ill not too long before we were scheduled to go on air, and so we will schedule her for next week because, and hopefully. We just want to get her back on or get her on as soon as possible because we were kind of excited about having her up here because sharing some of the things, and a lot of you might already know the work she's doing out there because she does so much. So, but we want to share it here on the Slim Nation 101s and go, excuse me, and go in depth about what shaped her into the person she is today. So we stay tuned for the announcement when she will come back, and hopefully it'll be next Tuesday or Thursday morning. But like I said, we'll work with whatever schedule she had. But I really need you to sort of tune in and to what I'm doing here on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook. I try to do all my shows live. I just think it's more authentic that way, and you know that what we are talking about is nothing. Well, later on we might have to do some recordings, but seeing it live, it's coming from the heart, and we try to go kind of unscripted. We have an idea of what we want to talk about, but it's we try not to have any questions written down. Might have some notes to myself, things I might want to mention. Sometimes I never get to, but usually after the flow of the conversation creates all the different questions or moves the conversation along. So this is what we do, and we want you to be there with us to share in this. And as far as us being on Facebook Live, you can share in as far as making your comments during those live shows and make your comments. And I'll look over at that screen and see if you want to, you have a question for the guest or you want to make a comment that you want the guest to know, we'll share that at that time. So just remember to support me here, the Slim Nation 101's podcast, as we come to you with a lot of interesting guests. We have quite a few people lined up. We were just working on scheduling them to the right time and making sure that you get a chance to see what they have to say. You'll be amazed at some of the things, and hopefully we can have some discussions that you might not normally see in other discussions they might have where they might concentrate on now or what they're doing now. But we try to go a little deep into their history and uh, their experiences growing up and as an adults and what it took for them to get to the point they are today. You know, what made them successful, and whatever else they would want to share with us that they might not normally share in a normal interview. And the interviews are usually for about a half hour. Sometimes we go over. We try to keep it that, because we know your attention span, and there's so much on this medium that you can tune in and watch. So we try to be mindful of the time that we are here, and hopefully we'll have guests that will hold your attention at least for that half an hour that we have in there. And if it's anything else that needs to go beyond that, we'll have a part two. So, but this is what we're trying to do here on the Slim Nation 101 podcast. And I can't say it enough. I need your support. I need you to tune in whenever you can. Like I said earlier, we're going to start doing them in September, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. So you'll know, and we won't have to be catching you at 7 in the evening when you might have something else to do, but you would know, and you can put on your calendar when you can watch or listen to the Slim Nation 101s with me and a special guest. So thanks for all the support you've been giving me over the years as a part of Portsmouth Coffee Talk and on the radio station. And we really appreciate that. And we've had fun doing that. Been doing this since about 2016, right after a year after my heart transplant, and it's really given me uh, the heart transplant gave me a new life, a second chance at life and living, and doing this, on amateur, an amateur status, and make sure we are not claiming, or at least I'm not trying to claim, to be competing with those professionals out there who spent many years and hours in the classroom studying that craft of journalism and being on air. It's just something that I wanted to do or was given the opportunity to do and continue to do it and try to continue to improve. But, I'll leave that professional stuff to the professionals. But I think it's room for us amateurs out here to bring you some content that might be something you might want to watch or something you might learn from. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And like I said, we will reschedule Miss Latrese Carter next week, hopefully, to come on. And tomorrow night at 7, we have Katina Bonds will be on. And tune in for that. She's very active in the community. She has a group called the Butterfly Group. I know it's a more longer title than that, but you will see the advertisement for that. But tomorrow at the same time at 7 o'clock, we're going to have Miss Katina Bonds on to talk about her organization and all the many things she does. She's also an educator at ODU or works at ODU. So she does that full time along with the work she does with her nonprofit. So tune in tomorrow night for that. And a lot of times, if you don't know some of these people that are guests, a lot of them you will recognize, and some of you won't recognize. Still tune in if you don't recognize the person. You might find out you run across them before, or you might find out that they really are doing some yeoman's work out here in our communities and working with our kids. And I think Ms. Bonds works with young ladies, and which is can't get enough help there in these organizations that are doing things in on their own time to help. Or making time, I'll put it that way, because a lot of them do have regular jobs, but they make time uh, outside of their regular jobs to help out our youth and do things for our youth and try to make sure the next generation is prepared for whatever they're going to be facing out here. It's a crazy world waiting for them out there in our country and around the world. So we have to prepare them as much as they can, as much as we can, and hopefully they will survive all the craziness and they'll be prepared mentally how to handle things that they may face out here with all the craziness and the misleading information that they might be facing or hearing out there. So join me tomorrow for a special guest, Katina Barnes, and come back next week as we bring back Latrese Carter as our guest. Thanks again. We appreciate you. And as always, be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved. And remember to always exercise your right to vote. Don't sit on any election day. Get out there every election day and vote. Be a change agent. Make a difference. Don't sit down and complain about something that you can have a hand in changing. Take care. We'll see you next time.